North site.
Oh, let me make this not red.
Let's delete the soft soils.
Oh,
And just say extra engineering.
Extra
Engineering was done in advance. Borrego and Arraycon.
And
Arraycon. Arraycon. They're not on this in the article.
I don't think so. Is it like array? Okay.
And
Con?
C-O-N. It's
Okay,
one
cool.
word.
Oh,
And Arraycon's capital. Or the A is capital. I say. It's the company. So Arraycon was the EPC. They're the installer. So extra engineering was done in advance, and Arraycon. Basically, they were able to use the spread footings we provided on the plans. Design.
footing design
Yeah.
we provided.
We provided.
Very cool. Okay.
And that's for the nights. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, and had done some sped footing, anchor foundations. That's fine on north side.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So there's a north site, and then was the other site like south or?
It's south
Like, is
of
it-
yeah. So
Okay.
we call it the east site and the north site.
Okay.
East site is it's really south of the north site,
Okay.
but it is technically just a little further east than the north site.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. So east side and north site.
Right.
Got it. So are there any other things? So we delivered on time. What other kind of things can we be like, look at how great we are?
Our deliveries were within a week for 8 megawatts. We had delivered all the material at the site within a scheduled week, which was fantastic. Actually, we should say 2 weeks. It was we were able to 2 weeks for full delivery.
Awesome. Okay. Can you think of any other things like that we can kind of toot our own horn about?
Let's see. Well, let's see. If we were able to commission the site in 3 days. In only 3 days, which is really nice for an 8 megawatt site to fully commission and walk away. It's completely operational. That
So
was a
when
huge
it's
deal.
connected, it's going to be only to the airport, right?
That's right. So
Okay.
the article says it's going to support the airport. Now, I don't know if it's going to directly tie to the terminal.
Okay.
That might be a question for Bill to answer, but that article kind of alludes to it supplying power to the airport, which I would assume is the
Yeah.
terminals. But there could be other equipment that's involved. So
Okay.
Bill might have those little
All right.
gems.
Yeah.
So
A little bit more detail about that side.
careful due diligence at the beginning of the project, good engineering, quality engineering at the beginning of the project, a lot of that prep work, training their EPC, training Borrego. We trained them on O&M as well, so that could go underneath the
Yeah.
commissioning.
Could you talk to me a little bit more about that stuff?
Yeah. So throughout the build, we took the time to train Borrego with O&M and made them aware of the maintenance parts that they have to take care of yearly, and basically our process on how to replace any warranty items.
Cool. Let's see.
That was really helpful
Yeah.
too. There's a lot of companies hire an O&M guy and he doesn't know anything about the tractor. He might just get called and go to a site. Borrego is responsible for doing the O&M, so it was able to, some of the guys are actually responsible for the O&M were there towards the end of the project, and we were able to spend, some time with them and train them, which is rare. That doesn't usually always happen, so it was good.
So actual people in charge of it, in charge of O&M, were on site.
We're on site and receive the training in person, which is more than we can hope for.
Awesome. Okay, so that's huge.
So there's really we got some challenges with the foundations. The tracker went up really, really well. I mean, the tracker was very fast in installation.
We're a little harder.
A little challenging.
A little challenging.
But tracker.
Is there anything else that you can tell me about, like the build? Did everything go like the speed it was supposed to? Like once it started,
I think
was that projected?
No, so the
3
projected
months?
delays for piers were at least 2 weeks in their construction schedule. Just setbacks. Just say pier setbacks, 2-week delay per project. And that wasn't us, because we had all the answers. We provided all these answers. That was literally the fight between the EPC and Borrego.
Cool.
They had an argument on labor hours to do the work, and they had to go back and forth, so that delayed them a couple weeks. But tracker was very smooth. That went up really quickly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, great progress.
Okay, cool. Let's see. So, any specific or unique aspects of the NX technology that helped the project?
Let's see here. Design-wise, we stuck with our standard design, 221. But we were able to engineer the foundations.
Is there any way I can get like more information on the foundation part, or like, do you know how much information I can give without it being, since this is kind of public facing as a case study? Like
Yeah,
what the
you're
right
not gonna be
terminology
able-
for that would be?
You're not going to be able to show them drawings or anything like that.
Oh, not drawings or
yeah.
anything, but just like, I guess what words are okay to use and what are not.
You can send it to me and I can proofread it.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I
That'd be
might do
fine,
that
yeah.
just to make sure that
Please do.
I'm
Yeah.
using the right words and not releasing any information.
In fact, I insist you send this to me and I can take a look.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as it's drafted.
We just want to make sure that the engineering's covered in the terminology. So, I would say not so much design, but engineering, because we're not just the vendor here. We're the EOR for the project. We're the engineer of record. So, what does that mean? That means our in-house structural engineer designed the foundations, designed the tracker. So we were able to provide shorter piers for the customer based upon
on like the site.
the geotech reports. This helped immensely with the speed and progress on the east side, given that they had the challenges of pressing piers through or pounding piers through the asphalt.
Cool. Let's see.
So you got a little bit in O&M right there.
So it's kind of, yeah, this is nice stuff that you can kind of use on every single case study
Yeah,
because it kind of
exactly.
applies. Was this financed by NRG? Like, what was it?
Yes, so NRG is the backer of the project and
Okay.
also the owner.
Okay, cool.
So the financier.
Financier. Okay, cool. Just to make sure. And then, let's see. And I think this will just be all the pre-engineering stuff that you talked about. All the, what's it saying? If there's one thing that kind of stands out about the project, what would it be?
Yeah, so you can kind of take some of those
Yeah.
stuff from above and copy and paste it in there. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. And
No,
then,
I mean it was a lot of I think the biggest emphasis and the biggest bragging point for us was we assessed the project in person. Project manager assessed the project in person, and we also tackled this from the engineering before they started construction. A lot of prep work went into it just to basically answer all the predictive questions before the issue came out. And that just came from, to be honest with you, that came from my experience, past projects. Past projects, just knowing that they'd probably hit some of these challenges in the field. And it saved them a ton of time and money. That 2-week delay wasn't our fault, but it was definitely, could have been a lot longer if we didn't have the answers. We would have to engineer that on the fly.
Yeah.
Would have taken a week, and then we'd have to send stuff out. So, yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about just the site itself? Like,
Yeah.
was it flat? Was there kind of, other than the asphalt?
East Site is not perfectly flat. It actually has a giant dip in it. Because it was a parking lot, so there was a drainage. So there was a giant dip in the middle of the parking lot. So a little bit of challenge for driving posts.
Oh my god, my voice. Sorry about that. Keep going. Yeah.
But we engineered it to have the clearances that they needed. So.
Are there any unique challenges that come with like being in airport, like reflective things or kind of heights, clearance and stuff like that?
No, it was more of the security. So one of the interesting things, glad you asked that question. So at the beginning of the project, this was all behind TSA lines. So it meant that we all had to be chauffeured on site. And Borrego really worked hard to make sure that the east site and the north site were taken out of that bounds of TSA. Because that would have really slowed down a lot of progress on site. Basically, every man that had been on that site, or a woman, they had to have an escort. So for every 6 guys, there had to be 1 TSA agent overseeing them. And basically, they just sit there and stare at you. So Borrego did a great job working with the airport to make sure that both project sites were outside that boundary of the TSA. That really helped the project.
That's insane.
Yeah.
You would never think that would be...
Well, I had to go through an 8-hour training class. I almost had to go through an 8-hour training class, go up there physically just to get a badge.
Oh my gosh.
And approval, and we had to fill out this whole, form, and my CM already preemptively filled it out, and then I got a call next day saying, no, we got it all cleared out, and, cleared up at the airport. So
that's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm
The
sure
North
that's
Site challenge was interesting. So North Site had a big mound of dirt
Okay.
in the middle of it, and it had to be taken away.
Is that the birds?
The part of the bird pit.
Part of the bird pit? Okay,
was this
cool.
mountain of dirt.
Okay.
So the airport took it upon themselves to cleared out all the dirt, and a Raycon helped grade the site.
Cool. So mound of dirt. Was there anything else other than the soft soil on the north side that you kind of encountered?
Other than the mountain of dirt and the soft soils, that was it for the north side.
Are the tracks very, square, rectangle? Are they really regularly shaped?
The tracks, or you mean the rows?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
The whole site. Have you seen the aerial photographs?
I think I saw a couple. Let me look at it.
Yeah. So the east site is
maybe
typical.
if you could point them out, that'd be great.
Yeah, so this is the east site. That is very cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Just rectangular. This one's very cookie cutter too. They had actually 3/4 rows here because they had equipment pads, electrical and inverters that were here. So they just literally little cutouts. So the way I had this